Shavua Tov, and welcome back to the Dvar Malchus, the weekly Dvar Malchus shir. And before the Dvar Malchus shir, as our custom, we'll have a miracle story from the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach. And this week we're dealing with a town, a tourist, a tourist and business town, which is located in southern Spain. It's called Marbella, and Marbella is known for the beautiful coastal area, which is called del Sol, right? The coast of the sun, because it's like really golden, golden beach, and it's apparently something very special. I've never been there, but we'll take the word of those that have. In this particular town, so there is a family that lives. It's one of the veteran Jewish families that live in Marbella. I don't know how many Jews are there, but I don't think there are that many. Um, and there is a shul, there is a synagogue there in Marbella. And unfortunately, what happened with the family is that one of the members of the family, it's a large family, but the aunt, one of the daughters of the grandfather, she had to be hospitalized because of a minor infection on her body. And a short while afterwards, after she was hospitalized, so she fell into a coma. She was completely unconscious, and the doctors didn't know what to do. They were looking for some kind of any kind of solution that they could find. Natural doctors and conventional doctors, but everything they tried didn't work until finally one of the grandchildren of this family came up with the idea that perhaps they should do something spiritual in order to go and to help to help the situation of the aunt. Something spiritual? What do you mean? The grandfather asked. So he said, "Listen, why don't we all get together and we'll ask the rabbi for guidance, and we'll get together in order to go and to pray for Aunt. Her name was Miriam, is Miriam. And she is Baruch Hashem. So the grandfather, whose name was David, he listens intently, and he liked the idea. He said, "Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good." So this grandchild went and spoke to the rabbi, the shliach of the Rebbe there in Marbella, Rabbi Yigal Farente. Hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yeah, he'll forgive me if not. So Rabbi Yigal said that yes, definitely he's willing to go into to help out, to try to assist, and he'll organize the family and give them the instruction and guidance of what to say, how to say. He finally arrived. They were outside. They came early, very punctual. It was a Sunday, and they were on they weren't working that on Sunday. And they showed up early, and finally Rabbi Yilo comes and opens up the lock, and the gates are opened, and they walk into the shul, and Rabbi Yigal says, first of all, since there are so many men, because we're talking about a family that the grandfather has 9 children, okay, one of them being Aunt Miriam. Okay, and they came not only the 9 children, but the grandfather, since it was the grandfather's request, so the children came and all the grandchildren came as well. They came to participate in the prayer. So Rav Yigal looks around and he says, "Well, there's so many men. I have a pair of tefillin here. come, all the men will put on tefillin. And since it was the situation with their aunt, and the grandfather was present, nobody refused. Everyone started put on tefillin, all the men. There were men there that were present that never put tefillin on in their life, karkaftas. And while they were putting on tefillin, so Rav Yigal gave out sidurim with Tehillim, and which was translated into Spanish, so that they would be able to go into start reciting the chapters of Psalms, of Tehillim. After everyone was finished putting on tefillin, they also joined the recitation of the Tehillim for the refuah shalema, the recovery of the Aunt Miriam. And at the end of the recitation of the Tehillim, so Rav Yigal went and made a mishaberach to bless the choyle, the aunt that was in recovery, hopefully, Bezrat Hashem. And in the mishaberach, so together with the family, they decided upon adding a name to her name. And they added a name that has to do with life. They added the name Chaya. And they gave the Mishaberach Chaya to Chaya Miriam. And she should have a refuah shlema in all her limbs and all her sinews. V'neimar Amen. And all the people present answered. It was like an echoing, very loud Amen. Everyone was ready to leave the shul after this ceremony, and all of a sudden, the grandfather steps up to Rabbi Yigal, the shliach, and he says that he heard that there's a possibility of writing the Lubavitcher Rebbe, writing the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach for a blessing. So he said he would like to receive the guidance of Rav Yigal in order to write the Rebbe on behalf of his daughter, Aunt Miriam. Rav Yigal smiled and he said, "Sure, definitely, we'll do it." And as as everyone was about to leave, they heard what is going on, and they became very curious. What is this? You write the Rebbe. You put your letter in one of the Rebbe's books, one of the letters of the Rebbe, and you get a blessing. So they all stuck around in order to go and to see this happening. And Rav Yigal helped the Grandpa David to write the letter to the Rebbe, and they put it in the Igros Kodesh in volume Yud, volume 10. And the letter that they received was shockingly so appropriate and so accurate that it left everyone with their mouths open. I'll just quote from the actual answer, the reply that the Rebbe that they received from the Rebbe. So the Rebbe says kibakashasa, as she requested, and we're talking about Aunt Miriam over here. Azkira ves kol elu shekeseves eidoisam. I'll mention her and all those that she writes about. Al Hatzion HaKodesh, on the resting place of the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, La'atovas Matzav Habrius, in order to better the situation of her health, Ul HaMatzav Bichlal, and the situation in general. They were blown away. Like how accurate can you be when you're talking about Aunt Miriam and her health situation? Then in the continuation, the Rebbe comes and relates to different types of medicines and the different types of medicines in regard to the manner that these medicines should or should not be used. And then the Rebbe ends with a recommendation and a hera, an instruction. What was the Rebbe's recommendation? Kedai haya shetasig mezuzah ktana. It would be worth her while while to obtain a small mezuzah. Shebadku Isa, that was checked, ukesherahi, and to make sure that it is kosher. Vitisa esa mezuzah ima, and she should carry the mezuzah with her. Shebevada yashpia ze l'teva al briusa. For certainly this will have a positive effect on her health. V'yatzlicha Hashem Yisborach, and Hashem blessed be He, should give her success. Shebiyachad im baila, that together with her husband, Yivasru Teiv Tomid Kol Hayomim, they should give good, they should bring good tidings always, all the days of their life. And together with this, the Rebbe also writes different different conditions in regard to the fact that the mezuzah should, first of all, should be covered with multiple coverings, so that even if the mezuzah is taken into a place which is not an appropriate place for mezuzah to be, so it would be okay. And second of all, in regard to the carrying of the mezuzah, so it should only be on the condition that on Shabbos, it's in a place that she's in a place where carrying is permissible. If otherwise, in the public jurisdiction outside, and where carrying is not permissible, so then it should not be carried. Like we said, the answer was totally, unbelievably accurate, and it was a wonder in the eyes of all the family, the big family that was gathered together that Sunday, and it also raised their hopes in regard to the situation with their aunt, with Aunt Chaya Miriam. Now her name is Chaya Miriam. In order to look forward to seeing her become healed. Not only this, but since they were so impressed, so they also said that they're taking upon themselves to frequent the synagogue, to frequent the shul more than they did previously, and also to connect to Hashem through prayer, personal prayer, each and every one of them, wherever they might be, even if they're not in shul, on a more frequent basis. The days passed by, okay, and the family members made sure that they were able to obtain a kosher mezuzah, a small kosher mezuzah, and the mezuzah was checked by a sefer, by a scribe, and parallel to this, they realized while they were in the hospital that the doctors all of a sudden, on their own accord, for their own reasons, started to change the medicines that they were giving to their aunt. No one understood, on a logical basis, why and how this is taking place, but it was. And then with this, the aunt Miriam came out of her coma. She came back to consciousness, and slowly, even though she was a little up in the air, but slowly she came back to herself, and until the members of the family were able to go into to definitely say that she was already out of the state of danger that she was previously. After a short amount of time, the members of the family, by the way, the family's name, if I didn't mention, I think I didn't mention, the family's name is Ben Nishti, okay, of Marbel, southern Spain. The family members of the Benishti family, they were unbelievably happy, and they rejoiced because their aunt Chaya Miriam was discharged from the hospital, and she was able to come back home. and she totally returned to her 100% health miraculously. And we see that the blessing of the Rebbe came to fruition, and not only that, but these members of the family were able to go and to tell about this miracle and to tell about the fact that it's well worthwhile to take on good resolutions in prayer and in coming to shul in order to make sure that a person's health should be preserved and not in and chas v'shalom not having to come to this situation that we told in the story. The main thing is, and this is the main thing for each and every one of us. Obviously, we have our geula pratis, we have our detailed personal redemption. Each and every person in their own faculty, whether it's family matters or health matters, chas v'shalom, or parnasa matters, livelihood. But we have also, together with this, the Geula Klolis, the general redemption. And we are all waiting and we're all working so hard in order to go and to bring about the blessing that the Rebbe has already given in regard to the fact that Mashiach is here, and we see the actions of Mashiach in the world in the most uncanny and riddlesome, but very direct manners. And this is what we're asking from the Rebbe. We're asking from the Rebbe that we want to see, our eyes want to see our King. And should be on a good and revealed basis with happiness and joy of the heart. Since we're entering this week, this Friday and Shabbos, we're entering Rosh Chodesh Adar, and it says in regard to the Rosh Chodesh, at the beginning of the month of Adar, as it's brought in the Shulchan Aruch, in the Jewish Code of Law, Mishen Nichnas Adar Marbim Besimcha. From the time that we usher in Adar, thank you, we we increase in our joy, and the increasement, as we know, the Rebbe says, the increasement must be from day to day, from moment to moment. And the main thing is, it should be with the revelation, immediate revelation of the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach, Teichef Miyad Mamish Mamish Mamish. Chi Adonenu Moreinu v'Rabbeinu HaMelech Ha'Moshiach Chai v'Kayom le'olam voed. We just celebrated the birthday of our youngest son Shlomo Chaim. He turned 19, so we're saying his capital is capital Chof 20, chapter 20. The Eibusher should help that together with chapter 20, where it says whenever anyone is in any type of tight predicament, they should say chapter 20. So certainly the chapter 20 in Tehillim will bring us the revelation of the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach. And the main thing is, as we said, Teichef Umiyad, immediately now. Chi Adonenu Moreinu v'Rabbeinu HaMelech Ha'Moshiach Chai v'Kayam le'olam voed. Amen. With a crown on your head.